Dr. Ronny Jackson, who gave Trump a dementia test and who Trump thought was actually named Ronny Johnson last week, went on Fox News and said that Joe Biden's team is spending this week trying out various combinations of drugs on Biden before the debate. This would be an irresponsible thing for anyone to say. This would be a particularly irresponsible thing for a member of Congress to say, and it is an excruciatingly and painfully obnoxious and irresponsible thing for a doctor member of Congress to say, because there is no evidence of this. But this is the story. The entire totality of MAGA world has reoriented itself over the last 72 to 96 hours to change expectations for the debate. Expectations are no longer Trump's going to do so well and Biden won't be able to speak. It's no, Biden may well come off like he's debating strongly, but it will be because of drugs carefully calibrated to cover up dementia and cognitive decline. Here's Ronny Jackson. And just remember, he has no evidence for anything he's saying here.
I feel like this is probably what's going on over this week at Camp David. You know, he's going to be at Camp David for a full week before the debate. Part of that is probably experimenting with, just getting the doses just right because, they have to treat his cognition. They have to give him something to help him think straighter.
They're going to treat his cognition. And this guy's a doctor. That's the crazy thing. And think straighter.
Him something to wake him up, for his alertness. And then, he's been agitated. We see that all the time, and that's a common symptom or sign of this cognitive disorder that he.
Right. And Trump's never agitated, except all the time.
That he seems to be suffering from. And so they're probably going to give him something to take the edge off that as well. They didn't get it right just last time at the State of the Union. He came out, he was obviously much more alert, but he was a yelling, angry old man, and he still didn't make a lot of sense. So I think they've got an uphill battle here, but I think that they're going to have to do something to try to wake him up and make him perform a little better during the debate. And I don't.
Yeah. We also are looking into why Ronny Johnson or Ronny Jackson's face is that color, but we haven't yet figured it all out. This sounds like more of an admission than an accusation, especially when it comes from the guy, Ronny Jackson, accused of running a pill mill from the White House and on Air Force One. And we seem to be getting more and more of a sense of how Ronny Jackson worked with Trump, and everything he's saying about Biden seems to actually fit the description of Trump. Now, tomorrow, we are going to have a mental health professional on to tell us how much can you really glean about anyone's cognitive state from a single debate. Fair question. We will answer that tomorrow. Here's more from Congressman Ronny Jackson, who announces he's writing a letter to the White House demanding Biden submit to a drug test.
And it's really embarrassing as a former White House physician to have to do something like this, but we don't have any choice based on what's going on. But I'm going to be demanding on behalf of many millions of concerned Americans right now that he submit to a drug test before and after this debate, specifically looking for performance-enhancing drugs. Because we see...
He's on HGH.
Seen recently in his State of the Union address that there was a Joe Biden that came out that was not similar at all to what we see on a day-to-day basis for the last 3.5 years. And there's just really no way to explain that other than he was on something, that they'd given him medications. I feel like this is probably what's going on over this week at Camp David. He's going to be at Camp.
He feels like it. Okay, and then now he goes into the Camp David rant that we already heard. They don't have any evidence for any of this stuff. They are desperate. They are anticipating this may not go well for Donald Trump. So this is what they are doing, and it doesn't stop with Ronny Jackson. Let's talk about more irresponsible speculation coming from the Republican Party. Let's say you want to figure out if Trump did use a Nazi slogan in a campaign video, or if it's just a misunderstanding. Ground News is an app and website that gathers news stories from across the world and political spectrum so you can decide for yourself. It's a great tool. I'm happy to be partnering with them for this video. Yes, Trump did in fact use a Nazi slogan in a campaign video he posted, and then he deleted it. On Ground News, I can access almost 200 articles covering the story and see that only 17% of those are right-leaning. No surprise there. Comparing coverage is interesting. Some sources on the left reference his language, comparing him to Hitler, while on the right, RT highlights his explanation of the video, and Israel's Arutz Sheva highlights that he deleted it. The Ground News Blind Spots feature will highlight stories like this that are disproportionately covered by either political side, so you are guaranteed to see the full picture. Sign up through my link for 40% off their Vantage subscription, which gives you access to all of their features. Go to ground.news/Pacman or scan the QR code or click the link in the description.